Welcome to Ravenland. For 10 human generations, the blood mist, a red and ravenous haze that rose from the ground at night, devoured travelers. Few dared to venture outside after nightfall, and fewer still know for sure what lies beyond the horizon. The demonic mist that covered the lands for 3 centuries, draining the life out of anyone who dared wander too far from their village, has suddenly and inexplicably lifted. Restless souls are finally free to leave their homes and travel far and wide in the forbidden lands, looking for treasure and adventure. The brave sharpen their blades and prepare to leave. They cannot bear the oppressive weight of their homes and hearths any longer. Adventurers, treasure hunters, scoundrels, not heroes, far from it, but men and women who dare travel the land as they choose and make their mark on it, unbound by any fate or story set for them. They hunt for ancient treasures. They fight whomever gets in their way. They build a new world for themselves on the ruins of the old. They are the raiders of Ravenland, the Forbidden Lands.
Howdy, friends at Four Heads. Welcome to Thursday Night Forbidden Lands. This is going to shock you, left on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I figure we should go ahead and start right where we left off. So, as we fade in from black, the camera's low. In fact, it's almost at the ground level. And it starts by looking up. We see this gorgeous clear night sky with an almost full moon that lights up this ruined but still standing castle. It's been called Amber's Peak. And the camera starts to move, slowly getting closer and closer to a large destroyed side wall. And as we go inside, we see 4 people, or 3 people and a halfling. 3.5 people.
Halflings are people.
Standing and trying to work their way to a spiral staircase. But then we also notice that the ground is covered with growth, vines, weeds, and somehow the vines aren't as still as they first appeared. In fact, as we get closer and closer in, we start to see the vines work their way up, wrapping their way around the ankles of each one of our intrepid heroes. So to start things off, I need some insight rolls. I need to know who, if anybody, notices.
Oh no.
Insight, you say?
I do say. Since
That is certainly a skill that exists in the game.
Not
Hey, Friends of Wumpus, we have a Friends of Wumpus says in the chat, Osric fan here. So
terrible choice.
So Vasilla, no successes. We've got a success and a bane from Osric.
I will not be pushing that roll.
A success from Sten.
I just want to clarify something, just because I'm curious. The scepter gives me a D12 artifact to insight. I assume that mostly applies when dealing with people.
Oh, no. You can use it here.
Okay, I'll take it.
The whispers warn you.
It's true.
Gear. How do I... Oh, artifact. D12. Sweet.
All right. So it looks like the only person that failed was Vasilla. Is Vasilla going to push this?
No, I think she's really excited and like looking up at like the columns and like the stairway and trying to convince them that it's a great idea because Stan obviously is grumbling.
Oh God, she's a tourist.
I'm grumbling very quietly though.
All right,
stealthily grumbling.
So then we're going to go right into everybody's favorite phrase, which is we're going to roll for initiative.
Alrighty.
Now, for those of you that are familiar with Forbidden Lands, normally initiative is handled with cards. The card system in Foundry is good, but not great. We're just finding a little bit more success just doing it with dice. So I'm going to create combat.
Can't believe you didn't have this done already, Craig.
I
I'm
know,
very
right?
disappointed.
Act like it matters, Shipman.
Probably too busy.
It did let me
prepping
roll my
other
die
shit
today, though.
streams.
So
Oh,
things are
very
looking up.
nice. We got a 10.
Oops, no, just one thing.
All right, so that's in combat.
Good lord.
Combat.
10
it
from
not in combat?
Sten.
Thought
But
it
for-
was.
Like
oh, you
I'm-
just rolled a D10 though, Sten. You didn't roll it off
Oh.
of your thing here. I'll go ahead and
Isn't
give it to
that
you.
what regular initiative? Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
So let me.
I'm not feeling it. I feel like I'm missing it.
I'm gonna roll it for you and
Also,
then
if you
change
go
it to a
the,
10.
the crossed swords on the right hand side, you should
Yeah.
see next to your
Oh.
picture a little red dot.
Ah, ha, ha. That's the one.
It's also up on the
I
cards.
appreciate
Oh, it is
that.
also up on the little character cards.
Well, that makes a ton of sense, doesn't it?
They tried
there
to
it
be
goes.
very intuitive.
All right, so we've got two 10s, a 9, and a 4. Let's take a look and see what our vines get.
Can't help but notice there's a lot of vines there.
All right. So the order is three PCs, our intrepid, 2 of our strangling vines, and then a PC and another strangling vine. Now, at the beginning of this, you have the option of swapping out initiative. Now, the one thing I will tell you is Vasila failed her insight roll. She is not acting this turn.
Okay.
Can I still switch my initiative or no?
You sure can.
Okay, then I will go
I wonder if it might make more sense to put her in the last
in the
spot.
4 spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure would.
So we'll put her in the 4 spot. And so who just switch her and Aldrich then?
Yeah.
All right.
Guess so.
Yeah, that'll work. I don't
I
think it really
mean,
matters the three of us.
Osric might want to go first just because you're a bladed weapon person. Bows don't seem like a good anti-vine weapon.
That's fair.
All right, then we'll update Aldrich with his 9.
Just
All
bash him
right.
with your shield.
So either Sten or Osric gets to go first.
Take it, Osric.
So
All right.
Osric, you're standing there and you look down and you realize both of your ankles now have been covered and are entwined with vines. And I'm imagining at first you're like, I don't remember stepping this deep into
Right,
this
right.
like floor of vines, and then you start to see them moving.
Remind me. Are we heading upstairs? We haven't gotten to the
You
stairs.
have not
yet.
gotten to the stairs yet. I've got all of you about 10 or 15 feet away from the stairs. You were working your way across this exposed, ruined room. It looks like at some point maybe it was a banquet hall or some sort of reception hall. You saw that there was a huge weathering, but you can see the remnants of decorations. But this room has not been used for anything. It's been pretty much exposed to the elements for who knows how long.
And so can I move, or am I now affixed in place?
You can attempt to move. It'll take a move roll,
Okay.
and that will be opposed.
Great.
Hey,
So
Coda, thanks for the gift sub.
excuse me. Can I reach Vasila?
I'll have you
get
within
a-
arm's reach of Vasila. Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to make sure that Vasila is alerted to what is happening around us, so we can make sure that that's quelled by the next round.
Okay.
If you
So
just start hacking at your feet,
then-
I'm sure I will be aware.
and then I might make an effort if I need to move over toward her to attempt to help free her. Then I will do that.
no, you could potentially try to free her from where you are. So if you want to put an arm back and grab onto her and try to pull her up from her entanglement, we can do that.
Let's try that.
Okay. That'll be your slow action though.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm an Osric fan too. Way to go. Good choice.
So let's do a strength roll.
All right, let's do a strength roll.
Rawr.
That is one success.
One
Is that- We probably should have
success.
determined that one success was or was not enough before.
Well, no, this is opposed.
Oh, because there's
Yeah.
a vine on the other
So
side.
you grab onto Vasila, and Vasila's like, "What do you? Hey, I'm fine."
What are you
Hands
doing?
off, buddy.
You yank and you lift her, right? So her feet come up off the ground, but two more vines come up and just start encircling her. She is now about thigh deep, just from her thighs down. She has just got vines that have completely wrapped around her legs.
That's not ideal.
Am I going
All
to
right.
push this roll?
Oh, you can.
I already have
Okay.
Bane. It seems
Can
like
you
a bad
counter
plan.
Push.
Fighters don't use strength. There's no big deal there.
All right, I think we're going to that's going to be my turn.
Okay, you're gonna hold on to your fast action.
I'm going to hold on to my fast action.
Very good, Sten.
So, how far about are we from the staircase proper?
You're about 10, 15 feet away.
Okay, and do the vines extend up the stairs?
Not all the way up the stairs, so they cover probably the first 3 or 4 steps,
Okay,
at least for now.
right. So, am I entangled enough that I would have to get away from these things to move?
You would have to make a
Okay.
move, an opposed move roll against it,
Okay.
against their strength.
Right.
Remind me, Sten, have your ribs healed?
Yes, thank God.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Feel better already.
Yes. However, move is still not a particularly strong thing for me. So I am going to try and get away from these things and like get up onto the stairway. But because I've spent a lot of time traipsing around forests and through underbrush and that sort of thing, and being human, I think I'm going to spend a point of willpower and make this a survival roll.
So we're going to use the adaptable ability of humans, and that allows you to swap this out. So instead of a move, you're going to use survive. I'm
Mhm.
totally good with the rationale. So go ahead and spend that willpower
Let's go.
point,
All right.
and let's do a survival against their strength.
That was suboptimal. See, I haven't dealt a lot with sentient vines is the problem.
So can you narrate that for me, Sten? How you're using your survival and how it fails? Or why
Sure.
it
Well,
fails?
Sten is like, his feet are entangled in this stuff, and he sees Osric grabbing, and he's starting to feel like he's nervous, but he's assuming that he can just kind of step out of these vines like he would normally. And it's like his foot goes up, and one of the vines just goes whoop yoink. And grabs it back down. And that was the moment when Sten realized, okay, we have a problem now.
Yeah. And I will count that as a fast action, Sten. So you still
Okay.
have a slow action.
Well, if I can draw my knife and try and slash at these things on my feet, I will. I don't know if
You
I
can definitely
name
draw
it.
your knife.
Okay, well, I will draw my knife then, and we'll go from there.
All right, beautiful.
Shit, he says,
Aldrich.
shouting in a whisper.
stealth cursing.
Right.
All right,
Aldrich,
I guess that's
go.
up to me now.
Do a magic
think-
thing.
Cast fireball.
I can't do
Not
that.
Not that.
I think Aldrich, the first thing Aldrich would have noticed would have been the struggle that Vasila was having now with Osric. So
Help!
I think Aldrich doesn't even at first notice there's vines, so he's gonna try to move and try to go help Vasila.
Great.
So, we're gonna
So it'll
make
be the
him
same thing.
roll.
And now you are human. If you want to, there's something you'd rather use than move.
Don't necessarily know there's anything.
And you may also want to save your willpower.
Yeah, I think that's more also the key. So this is probably not going to succeed, but it's more
Let's take a look.
for Aldrich noticing that
That
there's
wasn't-
actually a problem.
That was accurate. It did not succeed.
So at this point, Aldrich realized that there are vines around his legs, and he's already got his knife out. So he's gonna start jabbing at him.
Great.
Try to free himself. So
Let's
go
do it. It
ahead
is
and do-
right now they're at your legs, so there's going to be no penalty because you've got full use of your waist and your arms and everything.
All right. Here's my knife.
Do you wish to push this, Aldrich?
I think that's good.
You're going to take that? All right. So that is
Yeah, we'll
one
do that.
success for 1 damage. So as you come down, Aldrich, you start just like at your thighs, you start hitting this vine. And at first, your knife doesn't puncture it. You put a little bit more effort into it, and you finally start breaking into it. And you realize that it's covered in almost this chitin type bark. that's around the vine itself, and a kind of a dark green sap like bleeds out of where you hit it.
Oh my.
Let's go ahead and have our first vine react, and I think it's going to react to Aldrich.
Fair. I did choose violence.
So for those of you watching, one thing that's really neat is in this system, when you have a monster, there's a random table for the monster attacks, which at first as a GM, I wasn't too sure about. Now I absolutely love it because each monster has potentially up to 6 different types of attacks that it takes. And this one goes, all right, so we have Poisonous Cloud. The creature's purple flowers open up and emit a cloud of spores that affect all adventurers within near range. All right, so Aldrich, you're stabbing at this thing, and everybody starts to notice just these blooming purple flowers, and then and just this purple pollen cloud just envelops everybody's face. Now, this is going to be a potency 8.
That's a big number.
Yeah, potency 8 paralyzing poison. Now, it only got 1 success. So the way this works is that if you take a point of damage, you'll for the full effect. Let me just look at this. If the poison wins, you suffer the full effect. If you win the roll, you only suffer a limited effect. So if you get 1 or more, you're going to get a half effect. If you do not succeed on this endurance roll, then you are going to take the full effect. Who wants to go first?
That was the word I was looking for, was an endurance roll.
Yeah.
I'm good at this. Okay, so I'll go first.
All right.
I guess this is not considered a physical attack, huh?
It is not. Now, the one thing I will remind Vila of is double check your halfling.
Yeah, that's physical attacks.
Oh, it's only physical attacks. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Vila, do you wish to push this?
No, because I'm pretty sure. So, what does poison effect do? Right. So, like, I don't know what potency 4 means.
The full effect of paralyzing poison is you take 1 point of damage to agility each round until you are broken. If you drink an antidote in time, the limited effect is the effect is halted.
Yeah, and the limited effect
is you're carrying antidotes.
Limited effect is just what you just did. Take 1 point of agility
take 1
damage.
point of agility.
All right, so if I push this, I'm getting at least 1 strength.
You've got
damage. I might knock out anyway. No guts, no glory. I guess let's go. I am broken.
No! Oh no!
The good news is you can't crit from breaking yourself. All right, so Vila, what happens?
So I think because they're like so high on me already, like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, right? Like help, help! And then as like they puff out, I had like breathe. I look down. I'm like, what is? I'm breathing because I'm yelling and like just full
gasp
up in my face.
Take a deep
and
breath.
gasp. And then like I just like stop yelling because I like get frozen, right? So I'm like look up at Ostrich as I'm in his hands, like,
and Ostrich, you've got your arm and you see the puff as it hits you as well, but you see her just take it all in, and you see her eyes turn like a purplish tint as that happens. Vila, I also need you to take 1 point of agility damage.
Sure.
Not gonna get any brokener.
Might as well.
Who's next?
I might as well be.
There you go.
Endurance, you say? That's certainly a number. I hate to keep falling back to survival, but in a plant-based encounter,
Yeah, it makes sense
I feel
to
like
me.
it might be relevant.
It does, and you've got
Maybe
it. I
I've
mean,
dealt with something like that, and I am theoretically much better at survival than endurance. So
no question. And in my mind, you got to remember, like, this is the talent for humans, right? Like, this is part of your character build. So by all means.
yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. So let's see how we do.
Oh,
You know,
too much.
great start.
thing
This
is,
is gonna be a
I
short
have
stream.
to push this because because agility is kind of my
Oh
my
yeah.
whole thing.
It's your
so-
wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna push it, and we'll do the dramatic slow.
Ah, look at
roll.
those.
Oh,
that's
there
mo
we
better.
go.
That's mo better.
All right, so you're going to take 2 damage to your wits, and
Yep.
then you'll also just take the 1 damage to your agility. But that's the end
Okay.
of it for you.
Don't forget to take your willpower.
That should be
yes.
automatic.
It
Oh, is that
automatic.
automatic?
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right, who's next? Osric
I've
or
got-
Aldrich?
I've got finger on the button, so I'll go
All
ahead
right,
and
go for it. Oh my gosh.
Good lord, really?
I don't know. if I
Apparently,
can
we
carry
should have just
everybody,
let
okay?
ourselves all pass out and be captured. I think that would have been.
That's man. Well, I'm gonna go for the push.
I like that you think we'll be captured.
How
and
many
not
wits do you
devoured
have?
by this monster plant?
What's your wits, Aldrich?
Wits 5.
Oh, okay, so you're in good shape. to
He's very
push.
witty.
Yeah.
Is he?
I see a success.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my
Oh,
strength fell.
Does that break you?
No, I'm close.
Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
close.
So just take the 1 agility damage from that, and it's you're like you're able to get a lot of the cloud out of your face, but you just take a little bit of it in.
Mhm.
Osric.
All right.
Oh, at least someone did it.
Just the
No,
one
Lord.
agility.
Does matching give me limited, or do I have to win?
It does. No,
Okay.
matching will give it to you. So you're going to just take the 1 agility damage for me.
I'm just gonna take the 1 agility
Well,
damage.
good. That takes care of one of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
Let's do it
This is fine.
again.
Let's not.
Let's
Whipping Vine.
change
All
the name
right.
of our party to Miracle Grow.
So as you're pulling on the on Vasilla, you see Osric, you see Vasilla, you see the cloud go up into her nose and turn purple. You see Aldrich and Sten in your periphery. They're also affected. You've taken a little bit of this, but you were able to hold your breath just in time. As you turn your head to that happens, a vine has come off of the wall that's closest to you and is going to hit you. Do you wish to try to not be hit?
I do wish to try to not be hit.
Because you saved your fast action.
Because it says it's weapon damage. Does that mean it is parryable? I'm going to ask this every time.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. It's
So cool.
parry blunt force. So yep.
Then I will parry. And I have sword fighter and defender.
This is where
Should-
Osric saves us all.
I think
He's
that's
done it before.
right.
God, it's amazing all the dice. All right, so you successfully parry the thing. So the vine comes up, Osric. What happens?
I think that as it whips around, it's sort of coming off of the pile that's pulling up Vasilla, and he just sort of has his sword in his free arm and sort of just kind of clangs it away with the broadside of it, just to sort of not have it whack him across the face.
And there's no damage. You don't do damage with parries, though, do you?
Do I?
So, unless there's some special.
Normally not. I don't
Let's
think.
take
don't
just a quick
think
look
so.
here.
I know it showed them, but
Yeah, it may have just showed it because that's what it does.
I'm just trying to make sure that there isn't something on some
Yeah, let's just take a look here.
talent.
No. Every success eliminates success from the attacker. Any excess have no effect.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
So Vasilla is broken.
I just looked it up. I also will get a critical roll. You only don't get critical rolls if it's the wits damage that knocks you out by pushing. Strength, you still do.
Neat.
Oh,
Oh, because you took. Yeah, but you were just pushing your endurance roll. If you push, you can't. You can break yourself. You can't take a crit.
So in the broken section, perhaps
Yeah.
in
Okay.
the broken section, it specifically says in wits that you roll on the horror table, except if you broke yourself by pushing a roll. That phrase, except if you break yourself by pushing a roll, it does not exist in the strength breaking. broken section,
Really?
nor in the well, you only take criticals on the strength and wits roll, on the breaking of the strength.
God, have
rolls.
I been playing that wrong all this time? I don't want to do
Unless
this
it's-
to you.
Unless it's badly or misorganized. So
Let's take
but
a
it
look.
seems if you were going to do that, you played in both sections.
Let's quickly look at pushing here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Is that the section you're on?
I was in broken.
All right, so let's look at pushing real quick.
Suffering damage by rolling skulls. When you push a roll, when pushing, you suffer 1 point of damage to the attribute used for every skull you roll. Nothing in the damage section on 105 is.
All right, let's take a look here. Let's go to 44 and 110. So 44.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it in 44.
Oh boy. Okay, I guess we got a crit then.
Yeah.
Yowza. All right.
Sorry, Vasil. My bad. Sorry, I learned to read.
No, I appreciate you doing that.
You're too literate for Priscilla.
So
Oh, hold on. On 110, it says
on 110, it says
you
there's
don't-
one case when you don't risk any critical injury when broken. When you push a roll so hard you break yourself.
Okay, that's what I
Okay.
thought. Okay, phew. Okay,
Why would they
Good.
not? That's weird that they don't put
It
in
is,
both
yeah,
sides.
it
Yeah,
is weird
no,
that
it
the law
definitely is not.
specifies.
it would have been nice if it was at least in both places.
Yep.
All right. Hey, appreciate the
Whew.
sub, Spaz. Thank you. All right, one more vine attack.
Don't be poison cloud. Don't be poison cloud.
Oh,
Strangle
good.
attack.
Strangling.
Oh,
Great.
All right. So
All adventurers. Okay, this AoE crap is
yeah. So all of you, there's the vines are slowly moving up the legs and more. It attacked with 6 base dice. It got 2 successes, and let's see, 6 base dice and weapon damage 1. Blunt force. All victims are thrown to the ground. And you guys have all used your fast. I need 2 strength damage.
I'd like to use my free parry.
Oh, then you should use your free parry,
Free
sir.
parry.
And
Again,
we also need
uh,
armor rolls too.
Oh, yeah,
So I
armor.
roll
That's a
my
thing
free
that
parry.
exists.
I still have sword fighter and defender.
It's not going to save me, but
Cool.
Nice
Wow,
parry.
very nice. So Osric we just see Osric taking rust bite and just slashing these vines as they come around. Let's see, both Sten and Aldrich and Vasilla are being crunched though.
So,
yeah.
do we roll the armor and the helmet separately? Are they
The armor and the helmet roll together,
okay?
and then if they take damage, you can choose which it applies to.
Got it.
So you should see your
there we
armor rating up towards the top, I think is.
Oh,
if you
there,
look
just
above
roll.
each of them. There's an armor button.
Okay, yeah, there it is.
yourself,
I got it. Okay,
and it hopefully will do them all.
blocked 1.
Okay, so Aldrich will take the full 2 strength damage.
Yeah, Aldrich is down.
Aldrich breaks, and Sten, you're going to take 1
Mm-hmm.
strength damage. And where do you want that bane to go?
Oh well.
Oh, right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
You're gonna drop your
I
helmet
guess it
rating or
should-
your.
Yeah, I guess it should go on the helmet because
Okay.
Otherwise.
So we're gonna have it
just
kind of
goes away.
crunching the helmet as it wraps around your neck. We got to do a
Yeah.
crit for Aldrich.
I don't want to go on the cart.
And let's see, this is Deadly Embrace is a blunt force critical. All right. This goes around your foot and it starts to crush your foot, Aldrich. You just feel it just crunching on your foot and you can hear the crackling. At first, you think it's just the crackling of the bark of the vines, and then you start to realize and you feel that it's actually the bones themselves. Let's do your run becomes a slow action. There's no other modifiers. This is potentially lethal, so I need a 1d6.
Ugh.
If untreated, you will die in how long? 2 days. If you leave this untreated, your crushed foot.
Hooray, gangrene.
So go ahead and mark that for me. We are back to the
Alright.
top of the order.
Oh, gee.
Craig, if you were tired of running the campaign, you could have just said so.
I mean, at some point, guys. I mean, episode 13. Come on.
Always knew it'd be Aldrich.
I do have to say, like, I really enjoy Osric, but boy, that little backup goblin, I absolutely adore
think-
him.
I think we're getting Goblin Squad.
Oh, Lord.
So you've got Vasilla in one hand. You're slashing and with Rustbite barely keeping these things off of you. You see Aldrich and Sten now just getting crunched. Vasilla is out.
Right.
Oh, I got to roll a crit for Vasilla. Shit.
No, we decided you don't
No,
have
you
to.
do not.
No,
need to
she
roll
took
it.
damage.
Oh,
Can I take damage after being knocked out?
You can. It just ends up being a crit, so you don't go into the negative.
oh, goody.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
All right,
Okay.
you have yourself a concussion. You're -2 to scouting for. Roll it on 1d6 for me. That's how many days.
Slash roll 1d6.
Yeah, you can just tap the D6 icon above it.
All right,
Oh,
so
it's
just
not
mark
too bad.
somewhere for me, Dave, that you for 1 day you're -2 for
Mild
scouting.
concussion.
Just a
As
little
this thing just
concussion.
hits your head, and you're going back.
If
All
you
right.
survive 24 hours, you'll be fine.
That's right.
Fair
So
enough.
right now we've just got 2 of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So how
Old man
far
squad.
are if I were to say stairs or exit, how, relatively speaking, which one of those looks
You're about
closer?
halfway, so both are equidistant.
That wasn't very helpful, Craig. Okay. I'm gonna go for the stairs.
Okay.
And I'm gonna argue that the next time I try to pick up Vasilla, I get to use might instead of just strength.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I should have allowed you to do that the last time. What a jerk GM I am.
Really?
It didn't occur to me
He is
until
trying to kill
somewhere
us.
as we started to roll endurance.
All
I was
right,
like, "Wait a
so-
minute, there's a whole skill for that.
For your slow action, you're going to try to grab to break
For my, yes, for
Vasilla
my
free.
slow action, I'm going to try to yank Vasilla free. Like so.
So you pull, and we just hear the cracking. At first, you're a little concerned it might be Vasilla that's cracking, and then you realize as she pops into your arm. So now you've got your sword, you've got her bundled, and you have a fast action.
I'm going to move for the stairs.
Okay, let's do a move roll.
And I'm going to
good.
spend a willpower to make that a might roll as well, because I am fighting mightily against these horrible vines.
I like you, but just pure strength, no agility, no nothing, just pure strength. You're
Mhm.
trying to muscle your way to the staircase.
It's not a great roll.
Neither is that.
Good enough, roll.
So we see Osirk, Vasilla in hand, taking the sword and this hacking of where his legs are, and we see your left leg break free, and we see that dark green sap just explode as the vines start breaking, and Osirk like he's going through like 4 foot of snow. We just see him just trundle forward as he gets to the steps themselves. So you, Osirk, are clear.
And I have no actions left, so I can't now. Does it appear that they're creeping up the stairs?
They are not.
Okay.
Okay, Sten?
All right, I have a couple questions for you before I make some decisions here. First off, does it look like with Aldrich down, are they like continuing to creep over and like grab him?
They are. So he's
Okay.
slowly getting just
Okay,
encircled.
that's a problem. My second question is, does it look like there's any kind of central root or bulb or anything that these vines are coming from?
almost impossible to tell.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm really bad at carrying people.
Help me, Sten B1 Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
gonna come back. I just
Oh
need
no!
to drop her.
Do not under any circumstances.
coming
come
back. It's fine. I gotta come back. I just gotta drop
Yeah.
her at
He's
you know, the
Osirk.
middle
He's
of
gonna
the
like
stairs,
throw me.
and then I'm gonna come back. That's the plan, and perhaps I'll say that out loud so that Sten knows that that's the plan.
All right. Well, I'm gonna make one more try to break for the stairs.
Okay.
Again,
Survival
using
again?
willpower to make it survival, because God knows I need all the help I can get here because dice.
Could be enough.
Or not. Well,
It is. I'm going to have you win the
Oh.
tie.
okay.
So you, in the same way, Sten, you start breaking free. You're using the knife to just hack away at near your ankles,
Mhm.
and you're able to break the vines. You are now free as a fast action. You can get to the stairs.
Okay. I do that. And then as a slow action, I feel like a bow is going to be almost useless against these things.
But Sten's really good with a bow.
He is really good with a bow. I mean, I'll take a shot near near where Aldrich is just to see if I can try and discourage them from covering him up.
Let's do it.
further.
Yeah. The one that hit everybody, right, is the one you want to get if that's a thing.
I mean,
can
if
keep
possible,
track
yeah.
of.
So that.
Yeah, I mean, meta-wise, we know there's 3 sets of these vines, but
Mm-hmm.
where did the artifact die come from?
I don't know.
Is it from the shield? Does the shield add an
I
artifact?
think no. I think it
to-
automatically rolled his arrow die.
Oh.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that!
got
Yeah,
the
it
arrow
totally
thing
did.
out.
It totally did. How
Wow.
clever! Very nice.
Look at you.
Still a
3
pretty good shot, though.
3 damage. Very, very nice. So you just start unloading arrows in.
And does this thing look like? I mean, does the thick coating on these look like it would be considered armor?
It does not get an armor roll.
Okay, good.
Small miracles. When you started describing it, I was like, "Oh my gosh! If this thing has armor,
All right,
we're in
Aldrich,
trouble."
Aldrich is broken, but Aldrich, you ended up not taking the full effect, right? The only full effect is Vasilla, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So another vine attack. All right, this is going to have to be on Aldrich.
Yep.
A vine tries to force its way into a body cavity. Oh, God.
No!
So
No! This is not an anime show.
Aldrich is on his back, and you just see as the arrows come through, one of the vines comes up and just starts just stuffing itself into your mouth.
What kind of magic does that taste like?
That's that you're not.
Oh my
awake
gosh! The
for it.
attack damages both strength and empathy due to the horrifying
Attack-
experience.
Yeah. So it is going to be 2 damage to both your strength and your empathy.
And it's weapon damage too.
Well,
Jeebus.
Take the
Wow.
2 empathy damage and then take another crit on strength.
All
Oh my
right.
gosh!
Ugh.
And this is going to be slash.
Oh, good.
Whoops, slash crit.
Secret crit.
Hey,
rolls are
casual
so fun.
joker. Punctured lung.
Oh, good.
All right, so
That's good.
you are
Ugh.
jot this down for me. You're -2 to endurance and your move.
One second. -2 to endurance.
And move.
Okay.
I know I need a 1d6. This is how many days you have left to die until you die if you're not healed.
Jeez.
Hey, at least I'm
woo!
consistent.
Okay, so you got 2 days until you die of your foot or die of the punctured
The
lung.
stairs were
I'm
the
just-
wrong
I'm just
answer.
Visualizing if this thing forced its way into his mouth far enough to puncture a lung, you're going
That's bad.
full hentai
So
here, Craig.
yeah,
and
we've
I
got.
don't like
Yeah.
it.
I'm not doing anything. Okay, I'm following the rules.
Yeah, sure. You're blaming the dice. I see how it is.
We see this thing, and the disturbing part is you can just see the bulge in his neck as it works its way down his throat.
Mhm.
The empathy damage is implication that I'm aware enough to know what's happening.
Oh god.
Ugh.
Aldrich, as this is happening, you don't sense it, but you have got the complete attention of both Sten and Osric, and I think the focus that they're having on you makes this a very odd thing. Because what they're noticing is the green of the vines starts to like darken and turn brown. And it's happening very, very quickly. And Sten, with your survival skills, you immediately start tracing it, right? So, okay, like something's happened to this vine. You're watching to see if it's happening everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You see a shadowed figure off from where you entered, backlit by the moon. Whatever it is on its knees and has its hands on these vines. And you're watching very quickly as the vines begin to shrivel.
Okay.
So now Aldrich, instead of having this live vines that have lifted him up off the ground and are like going down his mouth into his neck, into his throat, is now like on a dead tree.
Okay.
Ew. Good. Better. But ew.
Sure.
Ugh.
Both Osric and Sten see this.
So is that was all of them? I mean, you made the initiative go away, so I'm assuming that's all the vines.
Correct.
Okay. Who the hell are you?
Get your friend. I've got him distracted, and do whatever you were here to do. And it is a voice that you remember. She stands, and you see her just casually just go, get him, go do whatever you're here to
I don't
do.
want it anymore.
All right, I will take Vasilla from Osric.
And I'm gonna
see-
go get Aldrich.
Yeah.
Please save me.
And yeah, I'm gonna get Aldrich, and as gingerly as possible, I'm going to make an attempt to carry him to the stairs.
So you get to him, and Osric, you're not quite sure how much resistance you're going to have when, as soon as you grab onto Aldrich, just a slightest bit of movement cracks, and these vines just crumble.
Hey, Sten, you wouldn't happen to have a point in like healing or anything?
I don't. I mean, I can. I spent a lot of time in the woods. I could put together a poultice.
You would also be aware that Aldrich does have like what do I have on me? I've got something for you.
Oh, he has things.
I have
to,
bandages at the very least.
Which will
So-
give you a gear bonus.
I will give you permission to scrounge through my stuff to save my life.
Well,
Oh,
my
well,
first question
now
is,
that I have permission.
I think Vasilla was also taking ongoing poison cloud damage.
Yes, I will take agility damage till I suppose
Is
that
there
murders
something
me
I can do
again.
about that?
It's going to take a healing roll.
Okay, you mean a survival roll? Like I got one job on this
You
ship.
see, Vasilla is laying on the steps, and as she's coughing, you just see these spores leaving her.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make this roll, and then I'll describe what Stead does based on how the roll goes.
You spent the willpower. You're
Yep,
going to do
sure
survival
did.
instead of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Oh man. And that is gonna be wits damage, which I don't like. I feel like I gotta try. I mean, if this breaks me, we're fucked, but I think we're fucked anyway.
For those children at home.
Actually, hold on. Yeah, Vasilla's already broken, right?
Correct. She is
Correct.
broken.
And
all
if she
this,
take-
all this is going to do is stop the agility damage.
Right, and the agility damage is not going to. Is it going to crit her further?
It'll crit her every time. Right.
Okay,
When she
then,
gets
then
down
we
to,
can't have that.
Yeah. When she gets
So I
down to
gotta-
0, she has no agility left to give. She gets critted
Right.
every time.
Okay, so I gotta push this then.
Ugh.
Son of a. Hold on.
But wait,
Did it only re-roll 4 dice?
Let's take a look here.
Oh,
So-
because my wits is down. But it should have been.
All right. Let's take a look.
Hmm.
So
No, because the one was a bane, so your wits was
right.
2.
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
my
you got-
wits. Yeah, my wits was 2. All right, cool. That is.
and it is now 1.
Sadly, that
save
is
me.
correct.
so the tense music stops from the fight action scene.
Mhm.
We see Sten over Vasilla trying to revive her, maybe pressing on her chest,
Yeah,
knowing like
and
maybe if, like if she's
nothing-
drowning, right? You're used to like helping somebody that's drowning, and you're pushing on it, and more of the spores are coming out, but she's still coughing. She still can't do it.
She's choking. I don't know what to do. What do we got?
Oh, we're gonna look towards that was names.
Marigold.
Thank you. That was Marigold, right?
Yep, and she's still standing there.
I'm gonna ask if she can help Vasilla, and then I'm going to attempt to do something for Aldrich, and I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Sten's like, keep breathing.
Well,
you
first of all,
little
are you
shit."
saying what are we saying to Marigold?
She's been poisoned. Help her. We have nothing that can help her.
I already helped you. This is your little business. These are all your little decisions. I am meeting Zertome at the bridge.
Well,
You're
cool.
wel-
You can tell her you watched her die then.
You're welcome. And she just casually walks away.
All right. Well, first off, then I'm going to make an effort to heal Aldrich. And I spent my willpower, so I'm gonna make it a survival roll as well.
How much agility does Vasilla have left?
I started with 3, so I'm at 2, unless there's another round that's passed and I've gone down more.
Not yet.
Which there might have
take
been.
take damage here in a little bit, but you're all right right now.
So I'm gonna roll my survival, and I'm going to, having rummaged, see if I can do something with these bandages. Is that a
So
thing that we think can apply here?
Yeah, go ahead and add a gear bonus.
All right.
What a mess.
Hopefully
Very
that's
nice.
enough.
So where are you broken, Aldrich?
Strength.
Okay, go add 2 strength.
Oh, good gravy.
So Osric, what do you do, and what is Aldrich's reaction?
So I think if I remember right, he was strangled to be broken.
So he had his foot
Lung.
crushed by one of the vines, and then now he's got a
Branched on my
throat and stomach full of this vine dust.
So I'm trying to figure out how these bandages helped me.
Well, we can have it. You used him as part of a splint on his foot. There's all kinds of
There we
possibilities.
go.
Right?
That makes good sense. So I think partly it's around the space of ripping forth any vine from his mouth, trying to adjust and take care of and immobilize his foot as best I can, as well as ensure that his noggin is okay from his strangling attack. Yeah.
Aldrich, you wake up.
And he kind of looks around and takes a look at the situation, and it's just like looks at his foot. What happened?
The golden lady saved us, but Vasilla
I
still
need
needs
you
help.
here. She's dying.
Oh, okay. And Aldrich will kind of try to stand up and then realize.
Yeah, Sten was like directing that at Osric, but
He's like, I'm helping. I'm not
reasonable
helping.
mistake.
And
So I feel like we can't do the same check again because that's not how this works.
Aldrich, the same person can't. Aldrich has not tried to heal her yet.
Yeah,
I
I
think-
haven't
I think-
done anything.
You
I think
tried.
Aldrich's gonna take a look at her because he's just
Got more
hearing
empathy
what's
than
going
us.
on. Let's see if this is a stretch, but I'd like to use adaptable to use lore,
Ooh.
as Aldrich spent a lot of time in the library in his youth. I'm thinking he's read manuals on just about
thanks, Nick.
anything, like spores, plants, even like books on surgery, as advanced as they could be for the world we live in. So
I'm
to try that.
I like it. I think it's a
All
great
right.
justification.
All right, Vasilla, here we go.
So you no longer take any agility damage. You're still broken, Vasilla, but that ends that piece. So we've got Vasilla, and to be clear, Vasilla, you're not dead or knocked out. It's just
Right.
you have no actions. So I
Right.
think that's what happens is he clears the last of this pollen from you, and you have a certain level of consciousness now.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, McGurk.
And Sten
So
just
you all right?
kind of sags back against the wall.
Oh, I wouldn't say all right, but thank you. What the hell happened?
I don't know what those things were, but your favorite bars showed up, killed them all, and then walked off while you were dying in front of her.
Well, glad she at least stopped the thing.
Sure.
Well, what do we do now?
So, is there something I can do to attempt to unbreak Vasilla at this point, or have we?
So it depends. You tried to heal her, but you were trying to heal the poisonous, right?
I have not done.
So who did that? That was Sten.
That was
I
Sten
tried,
tried to
yeah.
Sten
Dan
tried
and
to heal the
Aldrich both
poison.
did.
So you have done nothing for her injuries to her strength yet.
Okay, then I will make an effort to do that, and I will again keep clicking the wrong direction. Spend a willpower to incur adaptable and find this as a survival trait.
Okay.
Not a good roll, and we're gonna push this roll because
Oh,
Think-
If at first you don't succeed,
Oh,
so one
it
damage
is-
to your wits.
it
Where
is
does your
and
wits now?
success.
my wits is at 2 of 3.
Okay, and Vasily, you are at 1 strength now,
Yes, I am.
Whew.
and no longer broken, right? You have nothing else at 0.
Correct.
All right.
Can I heal? Can I use heal on myself now that I can use skills again because I'm not broken?
Forget what does it say about healing yourself?
I don't know. I should have been looking it up.
I was looking that up and then I stopped.
There's a
I'm gonna
thing
guess
about it.
it's a
Hold on.
no. Care. Someone manages a death healing. That's critical injury recovery.
Let's take a look.
Someone else to treat you by rolling. Has to be someone else.
Strictly.
Has to be someone else. That makes sense.
Okay. I can try to give you a hand. Since
And what are we trying to heal?
just strength damage, I would assume. Is where you're worst off.
So before we do any more rolling, just taking a meta look at here right now. The 4 of you just got your ass kicked,
Yeah, we did.
right?
And
I just want to remember, I don't want us to get lost in the mechanics, right? You 4 of you just got your ass kicked. You're safely on the stairs. Marigal, for whatever reason, killed these vines. So the vines are done. They're all just ash on the ground here. And she said, I'm meeting Zertom at the bridge, which is on the complete other side of this castle. Not saying you should do this, but I want you to remember this. If you go home to your tents and go to bed, you're only going to wake up with the critical injuries.
Well, that's
If
kind
you're
of what I
intending-
was.
Yeah, if you're intending on going upstairs, then you need to heal.
Right. What I was going to say is I think we got 2 possibilities. We can either go home where we should have been the whole time. You know,
I realized as everybody fell down that the stairs might have been a mistake. I can acknowledge that now.
or we try and because this whole part of the castle looks pretty much abandoned.
This part does, yes.
So maybe we can find some place where where we can hide out and get some rest.
So
I don't know if we want to stay here another day, but
right, I don't think we want to spend a quarter day resting inside the castle. That seems
That seems like a bad idea.
then
Scary.
we go home and
but
if we need to go back, hope we can get back in.
I do think that the fact that she's luring Zertom out of the castle might make this our best opportunity to find the entrapped
Valkyrie?
Valkyrie.
I mean, how many more guard vines is he likely to have?
Yeah, this,
I mean, when you
it
put it that
feels,
way.
it feels like a security system, especially if this part of the castle is this weak.
How hard
Angry.
did you crack your head? Look at us. We can't walk across a goddamn floor without leaning on each other for support. We're in no shape to go rescuing anybody. We can barely rescue ourselves.
Well, we didn't actually rescue ourselves.
No, we didn't. That should tell you something.
Well, we should pay it forward. She rescued us, and we'll rescue the Valkyrie.
Oh, you're not wrong, Sten.
On the other hand, it feels like we're here for a reason.
Yeah, apparently to feed the plants.
How's your hobble going, Aldrich?
Sorry, what was that?
How's your hobble? Can you make it?
Not feeling great, but I'll be okay for now.
So, I think we can rescue this Valkyrie. If we go upstairs, she's in an unlocked room, there are no guards and no alarms, and we can drag her out of here. Anything more than that, we're going to die here.
I mean, we should just keep our eyes open better, right? Like, what were you thinking? Of course he has magical guard plants. He's like a nephew of a pseudo god thing, right? Like, of course he has magical guard plants.
That's Sten face, man. That's Sten face.
Like, this is what they do with the stories. The heroes, they struggle against monsters and difficulties and horrors, and then they push through and succeed in saving the innocents that are locked away by the evils that exist. Right? This
Sten just says, stay here. And he starts creeping up to the top of the stairs to see what he can see up there.
So Ostrich stays down there with Vila and Aldrich. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'll stay with them while Sten takes a peek and sees what he can see.
And Sten, are we doing this with bow or knife in hand?
Bow. I'm useless with a knife.
So Sten, you start to work up this tight spiral staircase, which lines up to one of the towers that you saw as you were approaching and looking at the castle, even from across the moat.
Yeah.
You're about halfway up. You can see some light coming from whatever's next, but you also hear noises. You hear the clanking of chains and some heavy breathing. Some.
Does it sound like a person?
It not real clear.
And you sounds a lot like a bear.
You hear like kind of like the clanging of the clanging of chains as the ghost of cub bears. No, sorry.
Where did they get chains?
The ghost of cub past.
It's a uniform thing,
right? Well, I'm just gonna. So can I see? So the light's just coming from somewhere around the bend
Correct.
of
So
the staircase?
you can see the wall. You can see the light hitting the wall of the curved wall as it goes up the steps. So you can't see where the light is coming from.
Right.
But you now know that if you continue up this step, you're going to be able to see wherever that light is coming from.
All right. So I'm actually putting the bow away because it's not going to do me a lot of good in this tight quarters. And I'm actually Sten is sort of creeping up, like almost on his hands and knees, just staying very low until he can see just around the corner and try and get a feel for what's there.
So I need a stealth roll, but it's going to get a +1 bonus because of the darkness.
Okay.
Yay.
So Sten, as you work your way up, just doing your best just to get just enough to see, right? Not exposing a inch of you more than needs to be exposed.
Yeah, and my head is down like at about knee level. So if
Yeah.
someone's expecting someone coming up, they might not see me.
As you come around the corner, kind of like hugging the central like pillar that these spiral staircase is built around, you come and you see a large door or archway more than a door. And you can see it leads in to a room that is in a much different condition than where you left. It's not in ruins. You can see the 2 lanterns across from where you are where the light is coming from. Below those lanterns, off to the left, you see a stack of 3 very large crates. You notice immediately that they have some sort of front hinge to them. Next to the crate, one's asleep, one is awake but has not noticed you. There are 2 boars chained to the wall. The room extends in both directions beyond where you can see. This is just what you can see peeking around.
Can I tell how long the chains are?
Yeah, they would not be able to reach you if you got to that archway.
Yeah, but boars can make a ton of noise.
Are the backs of the boars on fire? Craig?
No, these are just normal. They're good-sized boars,
Okay.
but just normal boars. You can see the hay that's been laid down for them, Sten.
And the top of the stair opens like directly into this room. It's not like
Correct.
a hallway or anything. All right, I will retrace my steps down and tell the rest of the group. So if he's making demon boars, maybe that's where he's doing the work, because otherwise it seems like a dumbass place to stable your boars.
Yeah.
Does seem
That
odd.
we know that I do recall correctly that when we were investigating the demon boar, the fire boar, we figured out that someone had made it.
Well,
Had,
there
like-
were signs of human footsteps around where it appeared. I think
right.
that's what we saw.
Right, cool. That's what I thought.
Did the crates look like the boars would go into them?
The crates are large enough that the boars would fit inside.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know how we get boars into crates, but
Well,
with
we'd
all
have
our
to find a
awesome
way to
animal handling,
quiet them.
naturally.
uh-huh.
Okay, so my scouting is bad because I got a brain ache, but
I meant to ask where everybody's criticals ended up being. Is that I don't know that it's a thing.
I think
know,
everybody's good for 2 days.
yeah,
Good.
Aldrich will be
moving
dead
is a
in 2
slow
days.
action, and also what's the other thing he can't do?
I think -2 for endurance, Aldrich, and what else? Scouting
Endurance and move.
and move.
Cool.
Okay, so I think just check out. I don't think I can sing boars to sleep. I think I can only because they're probably monsters or something. And I don't have animal handling. Why we need bears? We could fight the boars with the bears.
Would it help the concussion if she was struck in the head again?
Just
Just
knock her
reset
right
it.
back into shape.
We tried turning your halfling off and back on again.
Unplug
Well,
her,
the plan's
plug her
almost
back
turned
in.
her off.
And you said you couldn't see beyond
No, it's a bigger
that
room.
into the
but-
He
room.
could tell it was a much larger room than he could see, but that is all that was visible. Was the 2 lanterns to the left, a stack of these crates, these huge crates, and then 2 boars. One was asleep, one was not.
Relative to the boars, where were the crates?
They were, if you were facing the boars, they were to the left.
But at like a distance away from them,
No,
so that
right next to him.
okay.
What do you think?
His view was very limited with that archway.
Well, I was initially thinking that maybe we could, pick up crates and then attempt to crate boars.
And Sten can tell you that it would take at least 2 people to pick up any of those crates.
Okay,
And there's
that
3
seems
crates, but 2 boars.
Maybe there's a spare. Maybe they used up one as a demon. I don't know.
There were 3 crates, and only 2 boars that were seen.
yeah, maybe there's a boar hiding out in the 3rd crate. because that
What's in the box?
Like a little boar kennel.
uh,
All right, I think I'm
not ready to go home. I feel
That's
like we
where I'm
have to
at,
keep
too,
going.
like-
I have to keep going.
You're ready to go
Um,
home permanently then?
Fuck it.
I think
Let's go.
that Margal has provided us an opportunity, and we should take it. And if
Yep.
and if we and they look like normal boars, and I think that you and I can handle normal boars.
Yeah, but if we don't take them out instantly, they're going to make a shit ton of noise, and anything else within 100 yards is going to come running.
Well, don't miss, old man. And I'm gonna like start walking the stairs. Not all the way up into the light, obviously.
I watch her go.
Not convinced, huh?
Do
So
you
I
stop
think,
yourself, Priscilla?
I'm gonna get to the point where I can see the light, and my scouting's really bad right now. But
This won't be a scouting roll; it'd be a stealth roll if you want to try
right. But I was
to
like
not be
trying to
noticed by the
hear
boar.
or see more, or it kind of like empties up and doing. There's 2 boars.
are the crates open or closed?
They were closed.
So it could be like full of stuff, and then you wouldn't be able to trap a boar in it. And the crates are bigger than a boar.
Correct. I
Is
want to
there
know
a
what
space
Vasila's
for
doing.
me to get into the room behind the crates?
It's hard to tell based on what Sten told you.
Cool. So I have to go check. I'll check.
All right, let's do a stealth check. And you're going to be +1. So you get an extra skill die because of the darkness.
Stealth. Roll.
Halflings are stealthy, right? No,
Apparently.
why not?
So Vasily, you start to work your way up and kind of like proudly, like, hey, right? And then when you see the light and you're kind of out of sight of the rest of them, I'm imagining you might have slowed down and been a little less rambunctious and a little more stealthy. And as you work your way up through the steps, you see exactly what Sten described. You see the boars, the one awake, the one asleep. The one that's awake is up on all fours, but its head is not facing towards the archway. You see the 2 lanterns, you see the 3 crates stacked, but you see something that Sten did not.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the naked woman.
Oh, I would have noticed
Ben,
that.
Priorities.
So just as you're peering your head up, you see the back of a woman walk into your view. She does not have a stitch on. She's got this long back down to almost the middle of her lower back, black straight hair. You can't see her face. Her skin, though, is almost a bronze. So when you saw here in the camp, when you met the riders, that's the darkest skin you had ever seen before, right? You'd seen really, you just had a pretty boring selection of melatonin in the old oil cart. But this woman has a much darker skin tone. You freeze as soon as you see her. She comes over, she gets on one knee, and she starts petting the boar that's awake. And you hear her say, "It's okay, sweetie. It's okay."
All right. I'm going to stand up, like I'm gonna like back, like pull my head back so I don't like just like stand up right in front of her. And I'm gonna put on my best game face, and then I'm going to like walk back a little bit, and I'm gonna start whistling like softly to myself and like come up the stairs like I didn't just spy on this lady.
So you are now making noise.
Mhm.
And as you come up, you're within now full sight. The boar reacts. So the boar immediately turns its head over her shoulder as she's petting it. It's just like making some noise. And shh, it's okay. She can't hurt us. She doesn't turn around.
Okay.
Do we hear the whistling?
Yes. Without question, you heard Vasila's
I
whistle.
just look over at Osric and Aldrich. I'm like, and get up and start
I think
going
it's
upstairs.
time to go up the stairs and see what's happening here, because clearly
I will kill her myself.
Clearly, she's concussed.
Hi, ma'am. I'll stop when she like is petting the boar, and she obviously recognizes that I'm there. I'm like, oh, hello.
I'm not sure why you're here. She again has not turned around.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not in chains.
I don't know. You can't see anything from where you are right now.
I'm coming up the stairs.
You're not there yet.
All right.
She goes, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry.
Damn it, Jim.
I don't know why you're here.
Yeah, she goes, I don't know why you're here, but I'm tired. If you want to come tomorrow, I might have some energy left in me.
Well, ma'am, do you have a name?
And she kind of chuckles to herself. And she says, sure. And Vila, as you're standing there now, almost at the top step, you're getting a much bigger view of the room. Off to the right, opposite of where the crates are, you see a table that lines the wall. And on the table are these huge glass containers. And they're filled with a red liquid that you've never, ever seen before. It's not blood. But it is, you have no idea what it is. It's an unnatural red. You also, on the wall, see what looks like the skin of a human face. Let's go to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Oh.
So Vila, you see this face and you notice it's attached to the wall, but it's obviously on like a wooden mannequin head of some sort of wooden circular thing. So it's almost been hung on this. You can tell that it's very cleanly cut right around the face. So there's no blood. There's no jagged edges. It's very clean. The eye sockets have been cut out, but you see the skin of the nose and you can see the skin of the mouth. And, you know, obviously because of gravity, the mouth itself is kind of drooping down. It appears, as best as you can tell to be a man's face, but you can't be sure. And as you're kind of taking that in, Vila, that's when the other three join you.
So we could come back tomorrow if that would please you, but I've heard that your host is off on certain duties this evening, and we are coming to find a creature of legend and goodness, if you know where that is.
I'm sure he's exhausted as well. I don't know what you consider creatures of goodness, but I doubt you'll find it here. And with that, Vila, you see her stand. All of you see her stand. And she turns to her left, which is also your left. And without looking at you, without exposing her face from her black hair, so keeping her head tilted away, she just starts to walk away. And the boar that was awake is now laid down and looks like he might also fall asleep. But it doesn't seem at all antagonized by you. She now walks out of your sight from where you're standing right now.
What do I know about Valkyries, if anything?
You know the word, right? So you've heard the word in the stories of a woman warrior. They're called Valkyries. That's about the extent of it, right? They're these great heroes, and you know, at times, sometimes in the songs and in the stories, the women would be referred to as Valkyries, but you have no sense of any type of lineage of what a Valkyrie is or what a definition is beyond a woman warrior.
Okay, and the lady from the
And she does
too long
not
for my
look
poor brain.
trapped. Sorry.
Yeah, she does not look trapped. At least not like by physical restraint.
And she was not chained or anything, and she was literally bare. So yes, Skylia told Osric that she knew that Zertome had a Valkyrie imprisoned and trapped here in the castle, and that she must be freed. And that's what drove Osric to present it to you. You're given the shield as kind of an incentive to do it. And then she said she'd arranged to get you snuck into the castle, and that's when they took you behind around the moat.
She doesn't seem very imprisoned, assuming that's our Valkyrie.
I don't think that's.
I'm gonna
You hear a
call
door
out to her.
slam.
Oh. And I'm gonna holler out to her and ask if she knows. And I'm gonna say that we're here to save the Valkyrie. Can you tell us where she'd be?
So, Osric, to really kind of do that, you're going to almost have to get on to this level, right? So get above the steps. The boars don't really react to you. In fact, I think the one that she was petting is now asleep as well. And as you turn to your left, you see the room extends far down to your left. You see a large wooden door that is now closed. You also see another table now to your left, so on the opposite wall from the table that Vasila saw and you saw, with 4 more of these jars. Aldrich, you are overwhelmed.
That's kind of what I was
Tastes like
expecting.
cherries.
Like, normally you would, you'd get a taste of magic. You can feel magic all through you right now. You know that whatever is, you haven't even really gotten a full view of this room, but there is something emanating unbelievable magic from this room.
Eyes spin around and flash up dollar signs.
Yeah, moth to the flame. Aldrich's gonna hobble towards whatever the source is.
And you don't get an Osric. Aldrich, when you get to the top step and you get first view of one of the jars, you're almost blinded. You almost put your hand up instinctively, even though it's not bright, it's not shining. It's just the energy that you feel coming from the jars.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna approach slowly, given that's all I can really do.
So Osric asked the question about the Valkyrie. We've got Aldrich working his way to one of the jars. What's Sten and Vasila doing?
I mean, someone broke the barrier, so I'm gonna walk into the room and see what's what. Like, I'm gonna yeah, I'm just gonna walk in and see what's happening.
It's actually decorated quite well. You can tell that this room, at least, is very well kept. The floors are wood, and they are not nearly as old as the rest of this keep is, and from what you've seen so far. You see beautiful carpeted tapestries of designs decorating both of the walls. The door at the end, Vasila, you immediately recognize is a door that wasn't here when the keep was built.
So when you said a big door, is it like one human-sized big door, or like a giant portcullis?
It's a big door, so I would venture to guess it's at least 8 foot tall and at least 5 or 6 feet wide, and it has a very large iron ring kind of knob on it. So and that's where you heard the slam, and that's where she walked.
The woman was standard human size.
The woman was standard human size. Go ahead, Vasila. I'm sorry.
So it would be hard pressed for Vasila to like reach this ring and open this door.
You could reach the ring. Not quite sure if she could open it.
Just kind of dangle off it.
I have 1 strength currently.
Sen, what are you doing as Aldrich is working his way towards the jar?
I mean, other than keeping up a constant stream of nearly inaudible profanities, Sten is going to go inside and see if he can open one of these crates and see what's in it.
So you walk over to the crates.
Mhm.
You see a very large latch at the top of the bottom crate, which you can flip up. There's no lock on it. And as you pull the crate back, you smell animal. It fills your nostrils. But as you open it, all you see in it is straw.
Okay. So,
Aldrich, you're at the jar.
Okay. I think Aldrich's gonna. How many are there?
There's at least 4 on this table, and I would say at least 4 or 5 on the other table. And to give you an idea, these are at least as tall as your torso to your head, and you would have a hard time putting your arms around one of them.
Oh wow. And they're sealed.
They have a very large glass top on them. That's
Okay.
that you can tell could be removed,
Okay.
but it would be at your head level, right? So you'd have to lift it like at your
Right.
forehead.
Okay. I think Aldrich would carefully kind of lift one open and kind of do kind of a waft. And that's where I'm going to spend the willpower to do an actual detect magic. But we'll go ahead and safe cast that, so I don't need to roll. It just succeeds. No risk.
Sure. So as you lift it, your hands don't feel this. Your face doesn't feel it. You don't get a sense of it, but it's heat. Intense heat, but it's almost not physical. It's like a magic, just a feeling of just heat, like scalding heat. But you can tell, like when you're like the jar's not hot, right? Like when you grabbed onto the glass, which would be conductive and would hold heat like that, it was cold. But as it opened up, you could feel just heat emanating from this jar.
Fascinating. Very interesting. I don't think that's particularly helpful, but it's good to know. So I'll go ahead and drop the stopper back down. Not gonna fuck with that.
Not taking a scoop
probably-
for later.
We're gonna cork that bottle.
Probably dangerous. I'm gonna treat that like nitroglycerin. We're just gonna be real gentle with that.
That's the only door. Is the large door at the other end of the room?
There's also another spiral staircase off towards that direction as well.
That goes up.
It appears to be.
I'm gonna make my way towards the spiral stairs.
Okay.
I thought you were the sturdy one.
Nothing
And-
prevents you from getting there.
I'm going to attempt to sort of sneak my way up there and see if there's anything I can see at the top of those stairs.
Okay. That's going to take a little bit of time. Let's do a stealth roll real quick. And then we'll find out some more actions from the other 3 before you get to the top of the stairs.
I'm not super stealthy.
Want me to go?
I probably should have had you go.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess I'm gonna try to push that roll because I really do want to try to be stealthy. Cool.
At least it wasn't a 1, right?
That's right. Cool. Yeah, turns out he's a little bit loud.
Vasilla, Aldrich, and Sten. We see Osric just start to go out of sight as he goes up the steps. Aldrich's putting the top back on the jar. Sten is watching like a hawk, saying very
Wincing
bad
a little
words.
bit as there's a heavy step.
So, do you think those chain her here? These dingers?
What?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I'm looking at. Sorry, it's in my head. I'm looking at Aldrich because I'm looking at your picture on mine.
Okay.
That's not how this works, Dave.
It's been a very long week of work. I apologize.
So Vasilla
Look at
says to
Aldrich.
Aldrich,
Oh, my sweet chief. So I look at Aldrich. Look at Aldrich. I'm like, so is she chained here by these crystal vials, these glass vials with whatever? Even I know there's magic out of this.
I wouldn't think so. It's like liquid fire.
So we got fire and we got boars. I wonder what they make here.
I wonder if they
Yeah.
drain her for them. She said she was tired. Poor lady.
Doesn't seem like blood, unless it's altered blood, or she has weird blood. Could have weird blood.
Vasilla, give me an insight roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, 2. So Vasilla, when Aldrich lifted the jar's top,
Mhm.
I described what Aldrich experienced. You experienced none of that. You felt no heat or anything. Nothing changed, except the smell, which Aldrich was far too overwhelmed. But you know what it smelled like to you? Sweat.
Lilies, sweat.
And when the jar was closed, the smell went away.
So it smelled like sweat when you opened it.
Feels a
and
burn.
Yeah, right. I think this is like. I think they're draining this Valkyrie.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting.
All right. Do I have a piece of paper? Is that like a thing that like exists?
Sure.
I'm gonna write a little poem about Valkyries and freedom. Put in like a freedom message in there, and I'm gonna leave it on the table. I'm definitely not gonna sign it though.
Gloom.
So as Vasilla is penning her version of the Odyssey, we cut to Osric working his way up the stairs, and with Rustbite in hand, I assume
Yes.
you're slowly working your way around, and very focused on what you're looking at as you're going, completely missing the rat. And you step and it goes, "Eh," and you just scrambles down the steps. And
Sounds
Aldrich
like-
and everybody sees it go, "Eh," and just screeching like it had its tail stepped on. It screeches as it runs across the hallway into a crevice in the wall. But you do reach the top, and it is dark.
Dark. No light sources at all up there.
Not from what you can see, and you do see at the far side. There's a window, but it's not facing where the moon is, so you're getting really no moonlight. It's just a little bit of ambient light coming in that allows you to tell that that's outside. That a window exists.
You know, goblins are nocturnal. Oh, I can't light a torch, Craig. That's insane.
Yes, why would we do something foolish and suicidal tonight?
I mean, like the 7th time's the charm's done. It's fine.
One of these times it's going to work out great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop and listen and see if I hear anything as far as any, I don't know, movement or breathing or anything of that nature. Nothing.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to head back down.
Okay. Vasilla, you see her scribing on the table. Yes.
What rhymes with Valkyrie?
What rhymes with Valkyrie?
Is Valkyrie a word?
It is now.
What are Sten and Aldrich doing?
I'm just if I was probably just about to head up to check on Osric when he started coming back down. It's like, what do we got?
And I'll let him know that, you know, it's dark and I couldn't see or hear anything up there, and I didn't want to light a torch.
How is the room down below lit, Craig?
Lanterns. So there's a series of 4 lanterns that fill the room.
Okay, are they like
or
hung
8?
on the
I'm
wall?
sorry, 8.
Are
4
they-
on each side.
Are they pick-upable?
Oh, sure, they're hung.
I will pick one up and start going upstairs.
Okay, so you grab a lantern, and you start to work your way upstairs.
Just stopping to look at Osric in that way. That
Woo, free lantern.
I have had enough of this.
So as you work your way up, Sten. Now, do we need to do a stealth roll? Or are you doing this stealthily or with the lantern?
Yeah, I'll probably try and be quiet.
Okay.
I'm unlikely to push it, but I'll at least make an effort to be quiet.
He's more naturally silent than the rest of us.
Is he though?
He tries.
Yes,
succeeds.
Yes, he is.
So Sten, as you work your way up, and I think maybe you're being a little strategic about the window on the lantern, right?
Right.
Enough
I
that you can
definitely
see.
don't want to get that
Yeah.
exposed.
So as you work your way up, once you get to the room, you see the window that I mentioned, and if you slowly then open the lantern up, letting more and more light out of the lantern as it fills the room, it's the same size and shape of the area where you just came from. So it's a long open area. Up above, you can see the inside of a pitched roof.
So
And
this
there's
is the top.
some sort of mechanism that looks like a pulley system, and as best as you can tell, appears to open like a skylight almost in this roof. So you can see just a pulley system and a rail system that would slide part of a door or something that would, open up on the roof. You see the chains that are used on this system come all the way down, and there's several very large wheels, cranks, that can be used to open on one side, and if you cranked on the other side, it would close, right? You can tell that by just looking at it. Directly below this, you see something that Brian has seen. I don't know if Sten has ever seen. And it's a very, very thick, long telescope. So I'm going to describe this to Brian. You decide what Sten understands, right? It's a gorgeous brass mounted telescope at the very end, at least this big around. It's pointed vertical, almost like at a resting spot. It's got this beautiful ornate detailing all the way down it. And there's 2 tables and 2 chairs, and those tables are stacked with books. And the one next to this telescope is a very large book. And when I say large, I'm talking 2.5 foot spine.
Yeah, a tome.
Yeah, with pages, and you can see it's about, from where you are, you can't read it, but the page that it's open to is about half full, and there is a fountain, a pen fountain, or a quill,
Yeah,
and an ink.
all right. So it sounds like there's nobody here, and there's no other exits except the hole in the roof thing.
There is an exit.
Oh,
So
okay.
you do see on the far end, again, having to cross the room again. So you're almost doing a zigzag here, right? You do see an archway. So not a door.
Okay. So I will go back down and say some kind of, and my assumption is that Sten has seen at least a spyglass.
Great.
So he would probably have some idea of what it's for, even though he wouldn't get the idea of looking at the stars, because what good does that do? But he'll come down and say some kind of workshop or something up there. There's nobody up there, but there is another room beyond. If we're gonna do this, we might as well go have a look.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, come on then.
Hobble.
All right. I guess we're going up.
So the 4 of you go up to this top level, seeing everything that we just talked about. I don't know if there's going to be any reactions when we get there, or is anybody going to do anything, or are we just working our way to the archway?
I think
I'm gonna
Aldrich's
look at-
pretty fascinated.
Yeah, I just realized I brought it to an
Aldrich-
altar.
You brought the nerd.
It's like I know
S-
Aldrich's going to stop and look at books.
With a severe limp, we see Aldrich move as fast as he can to get to this open book. And Aldrich, on the page you're in, it is a language that you have never seen, but it's obviously a language. And if you flip pages backwards, you see a lot of geometric shapes and what looks like math equations, though the numbers are not numbers that you've ever seen, but you can tell by the form that it's some sort of calculations happening. This is being written as much as it may have been read. And you can see the darkness of the ink is different. There's notes on the side and on the margins of this. So you can tell that sometimes some things were written at different times than others. It is nothing you can quite understand. If you want to give me an insight roll,
Sure.
I might be able to give you some more information.
And we'll add the old scepter to that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, geez. Okay, 3 successes. Okay.
And I think with 2 of those being off of the scepter, I think Aldrich has a hand on it, and like he's starting to feel like he's getting a little insight specifically from the scepter.
And if I remember correctly, the scepter's in your pack, right?
Yeah.
So and I don't want to take any agency away. So you yell at me if I do something you wouldn't do or you don't want to take, right?
Yeah.
So I'm imagining Aldrich flipping through the pages and maybe a sense of frustration, right? Because, oh my God, like books, right?
But found a cool book and I can't read it.
Yeah, you're realizing that you can't read it. And as you're flipping through it, on one page that has a lot of illustrations on it that you can't make heads or tails of, you put your hand on it and just kind of just frustration, almost wanting to crumple the paper in your hand and rip it out of frustration. But while your hand is there, you feel an energy from your back where your pack is. And you look down at the pages and the illustrations start to move. And by the movement of the illustrations, by the ink on the pages, you realize these are all different illustrations of the night sky. And you can just get a sense of the moon going across one of the illustrations, and that arc is tracing the distance. And you can see that there's measurements between which must be stars. So what this tells you is this obviously is astrological and is dealing with the sky and the movements of the sky and the celestial movements around. Obviously, Aldrich has no idea anything about astrology, but you have spent many a night looking up. And that is obvious to you. So though you can't read anything, somehow this thing is explaining to you what this book is at least about.
Until the stars are right.
Yep. Yeah, and I think Aldrich's just completely engrossed. Just like you kind of see him go from that moment of frustration to just like very quickly like flipping pages and just like scanning over everything, and just kind of he starts kind of muttering to himself.
So I'm going to give you, for the last insight win, I'm going to give you one more thing, and that's a map. So you notice, looking at what is obviously a map drawn on there, you quickly figure out, with a little bit of help from your friend, that one part of the map is showing Amber's Peak, and then another part of the map is showing south of the farmlands. And you can see the clearing and the glen where you've been before. And you see a line drawn across with some calculations on it.
Interesting. Where we fought the poor? Huh.
Good rolling, Tex.
Very interesting.
So the bookworm is bookworming. What are the three of you doing?
So Sten probably just headed across the room towards the other door, not thinking, why would anyone bother to stop with any of this stuff?
That was
You
my
know,
exact
so
thought.
he sort of gets to the door and is sort of looking to see what's there, and then looks back and is just kind of like, What?
And
What's
then
so
goes,
exciting?
oh, that's right.
So looking through the archway, Sten, you realize it doesn't go to another room.
Mm-hmm.
It actually goes outside. And there is a 3-foot wide bridge, wooden bridge, that extends to the second tower, which you saw from before as you come up. This was 2 towers on this Amber's Peak. And you can see it reads, and there's kind of a, the top of the tower there. From where you are, you can see there's obviously stairs that lead down. But it is very hard to tell, but there's something going on with the surface of the top of this tower. But from where you are, which is a good 20 foot across, very difficult to tell what it is with just the moonlight.
That's probably just covered in vines. I'm sure it's fine. Do I see, like, if I go to the edge and kind of look down, do I see any signs of activity or lights or stuff anywhere else in the castle?
So you kind of lean out, and the first thing that you notice now is a view that you have never had before, which is all of the village, Augerville, the encampments. There are fires lit throughout the encampments. You can see Augur's Tavern,
and you can house from here.
Yeah, and you can see the light coming from it. And immediately remembering what Marigold said, you look down and you can see the guards that are always at the edge of the bridge on the side of Amber's Peak. But you also see Marigold standing with somebody. But you can't tell what they're doing, but they're just standing next to each other. But you know immediately from the moonlight hitting her hair,
right? She's hard
that it's her.
Okay. So I'll tell the others that are not absorbed in books. There's bridge across the other tower, and Marigold and Zergorm or Zygerfer or whoever he turns out to be, or down on the bridge. We can go across the other tower. Can't get any stupider than what we've been doing already.
I mean, but do you think the Valkyrie is there? I think this lady that we just saw is the Valkyrie.
Well, she didn't seem like she wanted rescuing.
Well, we didn't offer. She was very tired, apparently. Probably getting drained of all the sweat.
Did you tell them what that smelled like?
I think that was
Just now?
that was our first clue right there.
Like,
What are you
sorry, the
talking
what
about?
No, the glass things. It smells like sweat. You didn't smell it?
No.
now? I don't think I was
Yeah.
there when he opened the jar.
It smells like sweat. Like
So what? You
Like
think
sweat.
you think they're making her run circles around the tower and then scrape herself off into the jars? What
who
does that even
knows?
mean?
I don't know. It's a lot of room up here. Just running sprints.
I think hearing all that, Aldrich's kind of putting puzzle pieces together in his head as best he can with everything he's absorbing at the time. And he kind of looks up. I don't know how. I don't know why. But this place, this is where the demon boar came from.
Yeah,
And there will probably be another.
2 more at the rate things are going.
At 3 a.m.
Well, at least you'd light the castle on fire and not the forest.
I think that's what the crates are for.
Yeah, I think someone's delivering these to. I don't know why. I don't know why they're specifically, but it is that specific area south of the farms for some reason.
Doesn't say in there if Valkyries are good or bad, does it? I mean, they're just warrior women.
This is not it's really about Valkyries. It's more about lunar movements and Time, days, years.
I mean, if this woman there was making demon boars, which it looks like she was, or at least helping, I don't think that's the kind of person we want to be rescuing.
Well, it depends if she's doing it because she is being forced, and then she needs rescuing. If she's doing it out of her own will, then you're just gonna have to respite her.
It's a verb.
It is now. Ay.
I'm gonna go, assuming that like I'm following Sten around, like as he's exploring, which seems reasonable to me. I am gonna just like walk across this.
Oh, geez.
This.
Going across the bridge, are we?
Yeah.
Oh God. So Vasily, you start walking across the bridge, and I don't know if you put much thought into it, but whatever thought you did put into it, you do start to doubt yourself a little bit as you get about 5 foot along there, because you can feel the wind coming off the side of the mountains, and you realize this really should have railings. To the point, Vasilla, where I'm going to have you kind of crouching a little bit to kind of widen your stance to, and you work your way. As you work closer, you realize this darkened area that was really hard to tell. It looks like straw, and it looks like a lot of straw. And at the far side, there's some sort of long wooden trough, and it's large, would easily go up to your forehead.
What the hell is that size? There's nothing. There's no creature there that is.
Nothing that you can see from where you are, but I've only got you about halfway across.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and crawl.
It's 3 feet wide. You're 3 feet tall. That should be no trouble.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe if you didn't have that concussion.
I'm gonna get, and it's so just like geometry of it. Like I'm on this bridge, right? That's like high bridge, and underneath me is this courtyard that has the straw and the trough.
Oh no! This is what's on top of the tower that you're headed to.
Oh,
So
okay,
you're
so it's
headed
like an airy
On
kind
top
of
of
looking thing.
not inside.
Correct.
Like
Got it.
on the roof, there's
Yeah.
a trough.
What you see below you is 2 stories down, 30 some odd feet down. You see the roofing of Amber's Peak. So Amber's
Okay.
Peak obviously has looks like 1 or 2 floors,
Mhm.
and then these 2 towers that extend
Okay.
beyond that.
Um,
To your left, you can see the bridge and the town and all of that. And to your right, it's just darkness.
just mountain. Okay. And then does this bridge? Does it? In my head, it was leading to another door in the other tower. Is it leading to the top of the other tower?
It is
Okay.
a naked top, right?
Yeah, I'll crawl along then.
What is everybody else doing as Vasilla gets on her hands
Stan
and
is
knees?
just kind of standing in that arch. We just kind of,
It was your idea.
sputtering uselessly.
So as Vasilla, you start crawling. When you finally get to the top of the other tower, the straw extends beyond up above your head from where you're crawling. Now, if you stood up, it would come up to about chest level. But it's just straw upon straw from where you are right now. You really can't see over it until you stand, which you can do safely, kind of holding on to the side of the.
Once I get to a place that I am not afraid that a wind gust will make a flying
tumbling.
halfling, we'll stand up.
You stand up holding the side of the kind of the precipice area of the top of this tower, looking out, and obviously the straw has been matted down towards the center. I want to give you the circumference of this thing, or I'm sorry, the diameter of this thing is at least 25 feet, right? Almost like 10 yards wide, very large top of this tower. The straw extends up to about your chest level, so it would go up to like mid-thigh on everybody else. The trough is on the other side, and it's kind of curved, not attached to the other side of the top of the tower, but it's obviously been built to be here, right? Because
Is there crenellations? Is like a wall around the top of the other tower? Or is it just completely bare? Like,
the
not
only
a full wall. But...
Yeah, the only thing that you notice is that there's a cleared area, and you can tell from where you are because of the way the straw is. There's a way to go down by the trough.
Got it. Is anything in the straw when I stand up and can see over the straw? Leavings, eggs, nothing. Just straw.
It smells. It smells, but it's not a smell you've ever smelled. Like a vaguely farm wild smell, but nothing you've ever smelled before.
All right. I'm gonna turn around and look at Sten. Can you see me across this bridge, or is it too dark?
He can see you.
Okay. I'm gonna be like,
Sten, who is taller and older, will actually just kind of kneel down from the start and go across the stupid bridge.
Okay, you get across, you see the same thing that Vila is. You're a little bit taller, though, when you stand up, Sten, and you can see that there are flies kind of gathered and interested in whatever's in this trough.
Okay. Is the smell any more familiar to me? I've seen a lot more animals and stuff. Okay.
I'm gonna walk around to the trough then. As he gets over here, as he's like getting himself over, I'm gonna stand up and investigate.
Aldrich,
yeah.
are we going?
It's gonna be a bit of a trip for you, Vila. You know, because it's like, you know, chest deep straw that you're working your way through. But yeah, we'll have you working towards the trough itself. Aldrich and Osric.
Are you finished with the book? I think we should probably head that way.
Yeah, I think Aldrich would kind of find a page, probably like, given what I'm looking at, kind of with the most like dates listed out or whatever as far as information goes, and like just tear it out and put it away. Close the book, and all right, we're crossing the bridge.
Not even gonna leave the book open to the page it was open to when we got here. There.
Nah, fuck it.
I mean,
I
I feel like the stealth ship has sailed, at least as far as discovery after the fact.
Right.
That is fair.
The guard plants are dead. Someone's gonna know we're here.
So you get across, and I'm going to have all four of you now go over there as now Vila reaches the trough itself. And Vila, you're like this, right? And you kind of lift up, and you see the flies now, and you smell rotting meat. I don't know if you can quite get up there by yourself to really see inside, but
sorry, I don't really want to see inside.
Yeah. And you can see that there's a much tighter but still spiral staircase to the right of it leading down. And the moonlight's providing a pretty good light up here from where you are. So you know how much light that provides.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Boars traditionally are herbivores or meat eaters?
They're omnivores, I believe.
Yeah, pigs will eat anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I feel like they're not, roofs are not their natural habitat.
Certainly, but
Probably not.
is that
And also,
feeling
at
from
least
your
the
vast
boars at their
experience?
current size would not be able to reach into this trough, right?
Yeah, Stan, give me a survival roll.
Oh God, another one. Survival rolls are doomed.
No, they're good. You're due.
No, my wits is. I'm a
He's
little
at his
stressed
wit's
right
end.
now. Not entirely though.
There he is.
So for one success, you can tell that this straw has been matted down by something.
Mm-hmm.
And based off
Something
of the
big.
trough and just the crushed center, you know, and almost like a nest, right? It's more crushed more towards the center than outside. This is something sleeps here.
Yeah.
This
Thankfully,
is
it's not
obviously
here
something
right
is
now.
kept here
Apparently something that's nocturnal.
and not a boar.
And carnivorous.
And
Look
that
at us
can
using
fly
large.
away.
And large. Yeah. I was,
So I'll look over. Is Osric still kind of in the archway on the other side?
I don't know.
I think we're making our way across the bridge. I
Oh,
think,
both of you
toward-
are?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're making our way back over towards
All
you
right,
guys.
cool. then when they get here, I guess we might as well go downstairs. Can hardly get any worse. Famous last words.
You keep saying that.
So you guys work your way across. You head down the spiral staircase. Slowly, the moonlight that was coming from the top gets farther and farther away, and things get darker and darker. We still have the lantern. Is the lantern?
I was about
Open.
to ask the same question. Did Sten keep that lantern?
I'm going to still have it, but keep it like almost completely shut.
Okay.
You know, just like enough to tell where the stairs stop, and like focused back away from us unless I need to check the footing.
And this staircase is considerably tighter than the staircase before, so I'm going to need a marching order.
I mean, Vasilla would have boldly led.
Where no halfling has led before.
It's amazing what happens when you get a good concussion.
So Vasilla's first. Who's second?
Are we? I feel like it has to be Sten with the light.
Sure. Okay. It's the worst that could
I'll-
happen.
Aldrich's either last or Osric's behind him to make sure I don't get left behind.
I think Osric will hold up the rear.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Sort of try to keep.
Vasilla, Sten,
eye
Aldrich,
behind it.
Osric. Did I get that right?
Sounds like it.
And does anybody? Well, no, Sten has a lantern out.
Actually, does somebody else want to carry that just in case I need to do both things?
Sure, I'll carry it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Problem solved.
So Vasilla's got a lantern. Aldrich, Osric, and Sten.
Sten, Aldrich, Osric.
I think he was
Knife-
asking the question in
In
distance,
hand.
Oh.
in
Knife in
distance
hand.
from the lantern.
Oh, got it. Oh.
Knife in hand, bow, rustbite out.
Respite out. Is the lantern providing enough light that I can at least sort of see my footing?
That's up to Vasilla. I'm not quite sure how Vasilla. I need to now know. I've got a sense of what Sten was going to do, but we've since handed the lantern over to Vasilla. So Vasilla, what are we doing with this lantern?
I'm
And
gonna
how are we going downstairs? Are we
I'm
stealth
gonna
roll
turn it on enough
downstairs?
to see. I mean, there's 4 people walking down the stairs, so I'm not gonna like. I'll keep it hooded as
Uh-huh.
like Sten had it, but I'll probably crack it a little more so that we can all see
Okay.
like the stairs.
Let's do a -1 stealth roll for you, Vasilla. So I'm going to dock you a skill point.
Stealth. There it is.
So do we have to do it as a group?
Nope.
Okay. Good. Because
What could possibly go?
I didn't succeed.
Okay. So Vasilla starts super quiet. And when you realize that this tower takes you down an extra floor than the other one did, right? So you went up 2 floors on the other tower. This tower extends farther down. So it's you quickly Vasilla realize you're kind of expecting a floor as you started going down.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait, no, I guess this keeps going. You now realize it's taking you back down to the ground level. As you get there, still darkness. As you turn the corner, there's an archway. And it leads to more straw. You can see the floor of this area that you're just now peeking around. I'm not having you run down here and go, ah! Right? So as you see that the floor is, you can see it's covered in straw. You can't get a sense of how big this is.
Same smell.
A different smell, but still smells like beast. I will tell you, it does not smell like the boars smelled, and it definitely does not smell like the top of that tower.
I just hear so many things.
All right. Well, believing myself to be stealthy, I will. I'll take a listen. I'll like stop and like try to pay attention.
Give me an
But,
insight roll.
roll.
Nice.
You're about to take another step, and you stop yourself because you hear breathing. and it's I don't think it's an animal. Like it's not like it doesn't sound like the pigs, right? But doesn't really sound. Maybe it's a person, but if it is, I don't know what that is. But something down there is breathing, and it's pretty labored breathing. So it's
Okay.
you don't,
I will,
don't see anything yet.
Yeah, I will. I'll look back and be like, and like, not really wait for an answer, and just like come down around the corner, not like striding into view, but like,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I'm just gonna have you step, Vasila, and I'll just keep telling you things. You say, Craig, I'm stopping.
So.
So you continue down, and you realize that, as best as you can tell, maybe you're seeing half the room. It's really hard to tell. You're back on the ground floor, the same floor where you had the ruined vines before, but those are far to your back, to your front left. Okay, so you keeping track roughly where you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The room is Spartan from what you can see. There's no decorations, just the wood walls, but it's not ruined like the room where you came in, the destroyed area of the keep. And you see the legs of him first, but quickly recognize that a very, very large man is obviously leaning against the far wall. So he's got his back to you. He has got some sort of animal skin covering his butt, right? He's got bare legs. The straw is deep, so you really can't see if he's wearing boots or not, or wearing any kind of footwear, but his legs look bare. He's a hairy man, but not like animal hairy.
So
I
bare
thought you meant
legs,
like
not
bare
bare
legs.
legs.
No, not like BEAR.
Oh God, they've come back.
And you can't see. You kind of just see his back. You can see his hands, so he's leaning against the wall. But all you can really see, all that's really in view, is his butt, the back of his legs, and his arms. When I say large, he might be 7 foot tall, as best as you can tell just looking at it. So this is bigger than any of the big people you've seen. Aldrich's a pretty big dude, and this thing is a giant compared to Aldrich.
All right. And he's breathing hard like he exercised.
So,
All right. I'll take another step. Is there? And he's just leaning up the wall. Is he like scarred? I guess is his back of his leg scarred, or anyway?
you'd have to open the lamp up a little bit more, I think, to get a sense of that.
Okay. I will open the lamp up a little more and take another step.
So you open the lamp some more. Skin tone very similar to the woman. So it's that dark bronze skin. And not like a brown African skin, right? We're talking more of like an East Indies bronze color skin. You could tell he was hairy when you saw before, but as you open the lantern a little bit more and get a little bit closer, he's much hairier than you really put together. The breathing stalls as he comes upright, and that's when you get the full picture. The muscles on the back, just ripped muscles on the back, these broad shoulders that Vasila, you're not even sure Aldrich could touch both of his shoulders at the same time. The arms are like tree trunks, just huge muscular arms. The hands are the hands close into fists. And from what you can see, it just looks like maybe like a huge one of the horsemen, except from the neck up. Because then the hair turns to fur. And you see just this dark, sleek brown fur that kind of just ends around the shoulder blades. And you see the horns. huge bull-shaped horns.
No.
And it starts to turn to you.
All right.
We give you a chance to react before it sees you. Or at least turns to face you. We don't know if it knows you're there or not.
Right. Is it chained at all or just giant?
Based on what you could see, it was not restrained in any way.
Okay.
I need a reaction.
I'm gonna take up like a friendly, like I'm gonna lean up against the wall like confidently. I'm gonna like look at this guy. I'm just gonna be like, of course I'm here. Of course I'm here.
As you're leaning against the archway, this thing turns around, and Dave knew this, but I don't think Vasila did. This bull face, full animal, no in any way human bull face. Its eyes are closed, but you see a red light coming from its nostrils, and as the eyelids open, they ignite, and it's just you just see like as if it had coals in its eyes.
Oh no.
Cut to credits.
No.
So during the credits, and I don't know, I guess, Brian, I'm going to ask you, were you making a joke or not? Do you think Dave's trying to kill Vasila?
I don't think Dave is specifically trying to kill Vasila. I think the recklessness that Vasila's, and I think it's not out of character with Vasila's long and illustrious history of players. But I think
she survived longer than 3 players.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I just feel like until she learns a lesson, and I don't think that there is a lesson that will last until she is killed.
Broken is not sufficient.
So I got to go to you, Dave. What's the drive? Because I agree with Brian. I don't feel like what you're doing is out of character, but I'd be interested to know as the player, you know, what's Vasila, what's it like to be in, you know,
yeah,
put Vasila on.
So there's been a couple of like there's a couple spots where you could have been like, well, are we gonna keep being reckless or are we gonna not be reckless? And I think for the way I'm thinking about it is that Vasila is like trying to prove a point that she's not scared, like that she is going forward, that she's supposed to hang out with these like warrior dudes who have murdered demons and like stand as much as a cranky old man is like obviously a skilled and like Aldrich is like blown up a fire boar and like has this magic mace and she's like, yes, of course I'm here. I'm good at this stuff.
I have nothing
to
fear.
I'm definitely not a 15-year-old, 13-year-old halfling hanging out with a bunch of warrior men. That's definitely not happening.
And by any chance, are you guys right behind me? Because that'd be great.
Yeah, right. Notice that she didn't go check things before she's like, Sten, come on.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, right. Like, and I'm like, anytime Sten's like really get like a real pushback, I'm like, no, but it's been like, I don't want to. Not good enough, old man.
So people on the stream I don't think I've ever talked about this before, but anytime that I have a live stream and Jim is not in the cast, one of the first things I do is I chat with Jim and go, did you watch? And if so, I need the Jim take, right? So I love how focused Jim is as an observer in these games. And I always love hearing what Jim thinks. So I don't care what Osric thinks right now. I want to know, what did Jim learn, or what does Jim think he knows now?
What have I learned? Oh my gosh. So I feel like Marigal either does believe that we can accomplish something here, or in fact, 100% doesn't care. So I think that's interesting. And I feel like from Osric's perspective, he's like, well, she prodded us to go. We have to go. If we just leave, that's really, I don't know, insulting in some way to her, and we don't want to insult her. And I know, like, Sten's like, I don't care if we insult her. It's okay.
You know the plant that almost murdered us, and she like calmly just murdered it.
Yeah, and then
Maybe
watched
insulting
you
her, not the
bleeding
best
out.
The the boar thing is interesting, especially with the star charts and the sort of warping of.
And so like I feel like even if you were to walk up, I don't trust him.
So you're more in Camp Skylea
Yeah, at this point.
than Camp Palacus.
Yep.
How
I
about
mean,
Brian?
Really, is anybody in Camp?
Yeah, I
Palacus?
don't see how
I
anyone
literally
could be
just
in
thought
Camp Palacus.
Palacus is in Camp Palacus.
I mean, I think he's at least honest about being dishonest.
A slime
Like
ball,
everyone
yeah.
else is always lying to us, but
Mhm. So we'll see. But anyway, as far as yes, I think it's clear that Zertorm is doing bad things, capital B, capital T, somewhere in this tower. The question now is, will any of us survive long enough to tell people about it? I don't. It doesn't seem like, from what we've seen, unless either the woman we saw earlier is the Valkyrie and there's more to that going on than we thought, or the Valkyrie is somewhere behind the door that she went through. She doesn't seem to be in this other tower. I don't know that we're going to find her unless we live long enough to retrace our steps. And I don't know what that's going to do for us, but yeah,
you suspect that maybe this woman is not the Valkyrie.
I mean, the big problem, one of the big problems we had going on this expedition is that we had to rescue someone. We didn't know who they were, what they looked like, what we were doing, how to recognize them, or anything like that. Maybe it is, but if she was imprisoned here, she seems remarkably chill about the whole thing. So I mean, maybe that is her. I don't know.
Who has theories about the sweat water, sweat fire water?
I think so. My theory is that he is changing the tribesmen into demons. Like I think he's trying to transform creatures. Right. So he took a boar, a normal boar,
He's proven
turned
that
into a demon
works.
boar.
Yeah.
He took a tribesman and he turned into a demon cow man. I think he's trying to make warriors.
All I wanted to do was build a super soldier.
Yeah, right? I'm not saying it's a good plan.
Searchum takes the mask off and it's a rascal.
We have the shield Sten. You're our Captain America.
Oh God, no! That's a terrible plan.
We'll get you
It's like,
injected.
what is
with the
Hawkeye
demon
doing with
juice.
Captain America's shield?
Aldrich is Scarlet Witch.
Clearly.
All right, I'll get the costume change.
Oh, that's funny. All right, guys. You know all the standard stuff, like, subscribe, all that baloney. Random question this time for Nate. Nate, what if, let's say that I am tired of podcasts about miniatures that take things too seriously. I'd rather find a podcast that maybe is a little bit more relaxed, maybe doesn't take itself too seriously. And in fact, if there is a line, we'll often cross it. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, not off the top of my head, but let me think. There's one called Steam Powered Scoundrels. Let's go with that one. I like those guys.
And why should people be listening to Steam Powered Scoundrels? Other than they get to hear your lovely voice.
Ugh, that's a negative already. But if you like Malifaux and you like laughing about it, that's where your people.
It's good stuff.
And Brian, after I get done listening to an episode of Steam Powered Scoundrels, what do I listen to next?
Well, you tell me that you listen